Hey everybody, I'm Joe DeGanzik, and this is Smarter Home Life. I've got yet another cool product review for you. Of course, we're in product review announcement season as we slowly get into fall and the holiday shopping season. So anyways, this is the brand new, no fancy intro required because it's sitting right there. This is the brand new Honeywell Smart Home Security System. Now you might think it's a whole system built into one unit. Well, there's more to it than that. I'll get to that in just a moment. And before I get to anything else, I want to say thank you to Honeywell. This is a sponsored review video, but it's been great to work with their team, and it was fantastic to be selected as a product reviewer for this whole new system. This is, as I've talked about as well, this is the perfect blending of one industry going into the next. You know, the home security industry has wanted to get into the smart home arena for the past couple of years, and vice versa. The smart home has gone kind of into the home security market. So anyways, this is the perfect blending all in one device, and then again, you've got your various accessories. The camera base station is the heart of the system and can be used by itself for a small home. It has a super wide 147 degree 1080p HD camera with night vision and a privacy shutter, facial recognition, customizable motion sensing, two-way audio, a very loud 90 decibel alarm, onboard battery backup, a Z-Wave smart home hub, and it's an Amazon Alexa smart speaker. Add a pair of door and window sensors and a key fob, and you've got the Smart Home Security Starter Kit. For even more flexibility and to cast a wider sensor net, add traditional motion sensors and motion viewers. These devices sense motion, and their cameras record short, low-resolution video clips that are sent to your phone. Indoor and outdoor versions are available, both with night vision capabilities. The setup process is pretty straightforward and just involves downloading the app, linking up your Wi-Fi, watching some pretty lights on the base station, and pairing Honeywell security accessories that you wish to add to your system. Ultimately, you'll control the system via the Honeywell app, the key fob, or by voice. And speaking of the app, I mentioned in the overview that this guy has battery backup, and that's kind of important because you tend to think if something's not working, you unplug it and you replug it back in, you reboot the damn thing, right? So I'm going to unplug it, and then I'm going to start getting notifications saying that, well, I pulled the power plug, but it's still running. So if I do this, and if I tap on this guy, power disconnected, running on battery. Now let's try and do something else. You've noticed that there's a rotating shutter on the top. So this is something that's active. It actually knows if it's open or closed. Privacy ring is closed. Well, that's interesting. Let's open that guy back up. I kind of wish it was motorized for remote reasons, but it's not. You have to manually move it, but you'll see that it will update. Camera is off, but the ring is open. So it's getting Wi-Fi, it's transmitting, it's receiving, it's doing all the things. And in fact, if someone had broken in and they just thought, well, the alarm's going off and it's this ear-piercing siren, I'm just going to unplug it. Nope, that's not going to help them either. And if the internet is out, it's going to temporarily stop, of course, transmitting information to the cloud and to your account and video clips and sensor data and so forth. But then once your internet comes back up, it'll send all that stuff to you. This is the Honeywell app. You go in here to basically manage all of your different Honeywell devices. I mentioned that there is a Z-Wave hub. I'm not going to go through the whole process of adding Z-Wave products, but you can add lights and switches and plugs, at least at the moment. I've got a Z-Wave light back there, and which is rare. Most lights, smart lights, tend to be Zigbee. So if I tap on that, it comes up. I can bring it down a little bit. Leave it there. I can even say, okay, Google, turn off the light bulb.
Sure, turning the light bulb off.
And there you go. My apologies for setting off your devices. With Lady A on board, for whatever reason, at least at this moment, there's a little bit of a glitch where you can't actually command that to happen. I assume they're going to work that out shortly. But you can do all the other things. If you talk to Alexa on board the device, you can have it do all of your other smart home things, and all your commands and your weather and your news. Streaming music and podcasts and so forth are coming a little bit later this year. So I'm going to just jump into the camera. The camera is off. You can set these defaults so that if you're home and you want the camera to be off, despite if you have the privacy ring open or closed, it can be off. And then you can set it, do you want the camera on at night? And obviously it's going to be on when you're in away mode. I'll get to those modes here in a moment. But I like the fact, and if I hit the little settings icon, you can see that camera on in home mode, camera on in night mode. So I can flip the camera on and it'll go up and bring up the live view, and you can see lights, and the place is kind of a mess right now. And you've got a snap so you can take a photo. You've got your two-way talk. You've got attention so that you could actually activate the siren. It's very loud. Motion detected by camera main space. That's right. It's detecting motion because it's on at this exact moment. I'm going to go ahead and turn that back off. You probably wouldn't use the live view necessarily unless you just wanted to see who was at home, or if you had someone that came up in the facial recognition. I'll get to that in a moment. And wanted to talk to them. Normally you're going to go into the history. So I'm just going to go and pull, you see down here it says people detected. That was a little while ago. And I'm going to just pull this up. You've got motion detected, so every time it detects motion or people or something, it's generally going to save a little short video clip that you can tap on and pull up. You can save these to your phone and you can take a look at it. So you've got all of that history and it saves it and it goes back. This is just the history for the camera. Now, of course, you've got the other accessories, the motion viewers, the sensor itself, the motion sensor, and the door and window access sensors. Those don't have cameras on them, but the motion viewers do. So to get to those, you then go into the security area. And this is where you can set the various modes. If I set some of these, it's going to start arming itself and all of those things. But you can set your away mode, your night mode, and you can also set the off mode. Off mode means you're not going to have the chime that happens automatically when you open a door when you're in home mode. Night mode will only enable the door and window sensors. It will not enable the motion sensors because it assumes that you might be up and about doing things at night, but if a window or door opens, it will sound an alarm. And of course, in away mode, if anything happens, it's going to sound an alarm almost immediately. So the sensors, I'm going to go down here. There's my same kind of list. And I see I've got my list of what's going on. Security set to home, security turned off, motion detected main space, which is this camera. And if I go further, motion detected on something like the patio, which was my outdoor motion viewer, because I've moved that around a little bit. That is this guy right here, and he is probably going to sense motion or do something and send me an alert in a couple of moments. The notifications that you get on your phone are rather instantaneous, just maybe a couple second lag time, but generally I've been very happy with how the notifications work. You see again, Joe Scene. I'll go over that here in a second. You can add people. It's a little bit odd in terms of that right now you can only have face detection happening for a 2-hour block during the day. Every day, basically, you can only set a 2-hour time window for face detection to actually occur. So you can see that you get a lot of information. I did actually like that, all the contextual information, knowing who is on the app. You can have the app on multiple phones. You can add multiple users so that people can actually be on the system and they would be interacting, and all of that information is going to build on these lists. So if you have the outdoor motion viewers, that is this guy, significantly, this guy is in the dark gray, and of course the indoor motion viewers are in a white casing. So this guy, if you mount these guys outside and make them part of your system, you can have this enhanced deterrence. So what this means is if I turned this on and the motion was set off, it will actually allow me to set up a different, a unique sound to be played by the speaker, which could be barking dogs, a really fun party going on, or even a vacuum, someone trying to vacuum the house. This is, again, to try to make it sound like people are at home, something's going on, if people have gotten into your backyard when you're not home and you want them to go away. So to wrap things up, overall, I actually like what Honeywell is doing here. It's their products, it's their wireless systems. You don't have to worry about some strange Bluetooth products or something like that. I like the fact that there's a Z-Wave hub on there. I'm interested to see what they do with it and if they really turn it into kind of a true smart home hub. And they've got the voice enabled with Lady A. And overall, I like the system. I think it's nicely integrated. The outdoor motion viewers are kind of a interesting concept in terms of not just being a motion sensor, but they're going to send you a little bit of a clip. Their resolution could be improved. And speaking of video stuff, on the main camera, the base station, there's no way to vertically adjust the tilt of the up and down of where that camera is pointing. As I mentioned, the app has a lot of settings. There's the two different areas. I wish they could combine those together into just one smart home security area. And the last thing, and I'll talk about this in a little bit of detail, number one, I like the remote. I like pushing buttons. I'll say that. I think it's a very important part of the smart home. I like the remote. You actually get some feedback on immediately when you press it. And then of course you get something from the system when it's actually acknowledged that it got the signal. But I wish the actual buttons had a little bit of a raised surface, so if it's in my pocket, I kind of would know which button I'm pressing. And now the final thing, and here's how to kind of wrap all this stuff up and bring everything together. I mentioned that the system is also compatible with IFTTT. That's the service that lets you do something with a connected home or connected service on the web. I usually pan IFTTT and I'm like, yeah, all right. But in this case, Honeywell does support it, and you can tie it to the mode changes. This is really helpful to me because I've already used IFTTT as a trigger for my own customized smart home system. So it was a simple matter of just connecting up to Honeywell and adding IFTTT applets linking home, away, and night modes from the security system to my smart home system. So now I can use the key fob to change the mode on both systems with just one click. Totally awesome. If you're looking for an all-in-one home security system that does have the smart home features, again, those industries really coming together, and on this device they are literally coming together in just one single device. You can start with this at $349. You can get the package that has a couple of door and window sensors and also the key fob remote, and that is $449. I'll have links in the video description if you'd like to check those out and pick one of those up. I really think it is interesting what Honeywell is doing with the Z-Wave on board with IFTTT and all the other connected functionality. I think it could be an interesting smart home and home security kind of mashup device. So again, big thanks to Honeywell for working with me and Smarter Home Life on this video review. It's been great to work with their team. This was a sponsored review, so just full disclosure on that. And of course, more videos coming up, all kinds of information, all kinds of interesting stuff right here on Smarter Home Life. As always, thanks for watching. I'm Joe DeGanzik, and I'll see you next time.